Hey there, garden friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Today, I'm gonna do a bunch of things with you. I'm gonna show you the second round of seeds that came from Baker Creek, and I think this is it for seeds for me for this year, or at least this season. And then I'm gonna unbox all of the boxes of Grow and Sell plant liners that arrived last night. So, without further ado, if you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. And if you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Good morning. Well, it's good morning for me. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are, or whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. I want to start this video by sharing with you the second shipment of Baker Creek seeds. This is actually the first order that I placed. But the poor folks there getting slammed with seed orders, which is great, but they were a little bit behind on the shipping. So I just reached out to them and they apologized. And I said, there's no need to apologize. It's not a big deal. I just wanted to make sure that it didn't get lost in the mail. So I just received these and I want to share these with you. Also, I want to apologize in advance for all of that noise. My neighbors are doing a massive landscape project in their front yard and their backyard, and that involves cutting tiles and pouring cement and cutting wood and all that kind of stuff. So they've been going at this for well over a week. It is Saturday today. The crew is still working this week. Today, so I keep trying to find a good time to film, but there is no time because they work from sunup to sundown. So unfortunately, you're going to have to live with some of that sound. I make all of my YouTube videos on my phone, and I use iMovie on my phone to edit and put them up because my laptop is so old that it doesn't function. I can't really use it for making videos anymore, even with free iMovie. So I don't really have the ability to edit out all of that crap. So we'll see. I'll do the best I can. Seeds. The first two seeds I have for you, I'm really excited about. As you know, I started seeds, poppy seeds. These are poppies. I started poppy seeds in soil blocks, and they are actually looking pretty good. I'm going to put those out pretty soon into the garden, even though they're still pretty small. I just want to get them out there because the weather is changing and it's a good time to do that. It is what is it? The 5th of February. So we still have technically another 10 days of potential frost, but I usually assume that it's going to be the whole month of February. We could still get a frost because last year we got frost March 15th. So, but poppy seeds can be spread on snow. And in fact, Laura at Garden Answer and Aaron at The Impatient Gardener both just did videos about this recently. They just walk outside and their landscapes are completely under snow. They spread the poppy seeds on top of the snow. As the snow melts, they will hit the ground and then start to germinate. Poppy seeds need a vernalization period, meaning they need cold hours in order to germinate correctly. So I'm going to do, even though we don't have any snow on the ground here, and today's high temperature is going to be about 56 degrees. At night, we're still going down to 30, 32. So I'm going to go on and spread these in the garden. I'm actually going to mix these two packets together in a little bowl, and I'm going to spread them in the cottage garden. I'll give you I'll show you that after the unboxing. But if I mix them together and I sprinkle them around, they should come up everywhere throughout that cottage garden bed. That bed is used for cut flowers, but they're mostly shorter stems in there, so they're not cut flowers for bouquets. I use it for arrangements and also with workshop participants, since we have our workshops right there next to the cottage garden. The workshop participants can pick from the cottage garden during the workshop to make their arrangements and stuff. So that's one of the fun things about that garden. So these two varieties, this one is cream peony poppy. Look at that. That is crazy. So this is on a 98-day poppy. And then this one, actually seeds for this one, this next one, Amazing Gray, have been really hard to come by. Apparently it got so popular that there was a lot of people wanting them, and there's very few suppliers have them left. So I feel really lucky to have gotten some. So these are surface sown. You can kind of rake up the ground a little bit if you want, but just sprinkle them on the top. You don't want to bury them. Light aids germination, and they're so tiny. You know what poppy seeds look like, right? Poppy seeds on a bagel. They're so small that any amount of soil over them could hinder their germination. So those are going to get sprinkled in today. Next up, this is an aster. It's a short aster. So like I said, the plants that are going back here are for the most part short, and they're not really going to be used for my CSA bouquets or straight bunches that I might sell to the grocery store, etc. They will be used for individual arrangements and also for my workshop participants. So this is a shorter aster. It is called Salmon Janina. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. I just watched a whole series of Finnish TV shows, and the daughter's name in it was Janina, and that's how it was spelled, and that's how they pronounced it, so I'm assuming. This one is, let's see, regal blushed tones make Salmon Janina the darling of the cut flower garden. With their romantic colors, extra full petals are highly desired for floral design, adding elegance to arrangements. Plants are robust and tall with flawless heads. So I'm excited about that. That's really pretty. More ageratum. The one I'm growing right now, this actually is a cut flower with longer stems, and this is just a different variety. This is red flint. So it will be going in the cottage garden and in the cutting garden. This one I definitely will be starting in soil blocks as well as the aster. So again, this is one that light aids germination, so you don't cover the seed, you just put it on the surface of your planting medium, your soil starting medium. Okay, Agastache. I thought this one was really cool. Navajo Sunset. Southwestern native perennial that is irresistible to nectar lovers like hummingbirds and beset. Oh, I'm sorry. A Southwestern native perennial that is irresistible to nectar lovers like hummingbirds and bees. Beautiful orange blooms with an incredible citrus scent. Thrives in poor soils. We have pretty poor soils around here, so that will be nice. And it is perennial in zones 4 through 10. So once I plant this, it's out there and it will self-seed. Another Agastache. This one's Apache Sunset. It is root beer scented flowers and foliage make this scarlet bloomed Agastache a phenomenal tea plant. Mature, it is 18 to 24 inches high and 12 to 18 inches wide. Pollinator friendly and drought tolerant, adaptable to a range of soils. Super excited about this one too. So these two Agastache are going to go in multiple places in the garden. They'll go in the cottage garden. I'll probably put some in a perennial bed. I have a yarrow bed in the cut flower garden that is perennial, and that is enclosed with a deer fence. So I'll put some up there as well. And then I might just put some in our borders along our front walk because they're so pretty. If the deer end up eating them, then they end up eating them, but they're edible and they're safe. Okay, this one is Arcado Hyssop. It's a pink hyssop. Really pretty. I'm currently growing a purple one, purple lavender one, and it's already out there in the cottage garden. Again, these are surface sown seeds, and you just kind of pop them on the soil and press them a little bit into the soil. They transplant really easily at any age or direct sow after danger of frost. So I'll probably start these in soil blocks. I tend to start any seed that can be started in a soil block. I will start it in a soil block. Or in a seed tray, because like sunflowers seeds, really big seeds, squashes, sunflower seeds, stuff like that, are too big for my 3/4 soil block. I do have a 2-inch soil block, but I don't really like using it because it uses up a bunch of soil. So I'll end up just usually I end up just putting those seeds into a seed tray. So, you know, either a 72 cell seed tray or 128, I'll usually just start those bigger seeds in those, and then up pot them when they're ready. So anyway, I prefer to start things in as transplants because putting seeds out in the garden is great. It's easy, but in my experience, the birds eat them before they have a chance to germinate. So I'd rather have a bunch of seedlings to transplant out than to risk losing most of them to birds as seeds direct sown. Okay, next one is a moonflower, Morning Glory. I have never grown Morning Glory. It's an Ipomea. Ipomea is a sweet potato vine also that is in that family. This one, however, is toxic. So you don't want to, eat this or like that, you don't want your pets to eat it. But this is a climber, and I have some new, what are they called? New obelisks that I'm going to be training some things up, and this one is one of them. I think it'll be really pretty. It's an annual, so after the season's over, it'll be over. These are huge seeds, so these are the kind of seeds that I'm going to be starting in cell trays as opposed to soil blocks. Next one is chamomile. I love chamomile, and this is just to me it's a must for the herb garden. This one is a Polish variety, has a really nice aroma, and it's good for tea, obviously, and a lot of other things. Most of my herbs are growing in my green stalk towers. I am potentially going to add another green stalk and make it a tea tower where I grow herbs for teas in it and just keep it running like that because it's so fun to make lemon balm tea and all kinds of stuff and tea mixtures during the season. So, okay, now we're moving into fruits and veggies. And I say fruits because I'm about to talk about tomatoes and tamarillos, and those are technically fruits. So this one is a dwarf tamarillo, native to South America. It's a miniature version of the regular tamarillo. This one ripens smaller golden fruit in clusters. In frost-free conditions, it eventually grows into a small tree. So yeah, I'm really interested in this because I'm gonna start them from seed. I will sell these in my seedling sale this spring as well, but I'm gonna keep a few going and see if I can get them to start growing into more like shrub hedge-wise, and I can plant them out into the landscape if they do. So that's exciting. The next one is a tomato called Orange Hat. I have a lot of tomatoes this season to sell for the seedling sale, but this one I couldn't resist. I like to get some container varieties because some folks don't have a yard or a place where they can, garden in the ground or even in large containers. And putting a small container on your patio with a small plant for fruit or veg is a really nice thing to be able to do. So this one is extra dwarf bush plant that grows just 6 to 9 inches tall, produces oodles of tiny orange orbs bursting with fruity sweetness. And you can even, it says perfect for growing indoors or on the patio. So you could even grow this in a really bright windowsill. It's pretty exciting. Okay, next, more beans because I love beans. I don't even know where I'm gonna put this yet, but I'm sure I will come up with something creative. So this one is red swan bush beans, red, not purple, pods on very early bush plants. So it's a bush variety, which is awesome, meaning it doesn't grow up a trellis and it stays more self-contained. So you can really pop these in various places in the landscape, which I might do because it's really pretty. So bush habit requires no staking, direct seed after last frost. So with beans and peas and stuff, those are some of the few that I will direct seed because you can bury the seed deep enough. They're huge seeds. So usually when you direct seed something, or anytime you sow a seed, the general idea is you bury that seed 1.5 to 2 times the seed, height. So the size of the seed. So with bush beans, they go down far enough that the birds aren't going to dig those up. Okay. So some greens for my green stalks, and also these I'll be selling as seedlings in the seedling sale. This one is sorrel. Sorrel is a really tart, lemony green. It's really yummy. This has become one of my mom's favorite new greens. So I'm going to grow a bunch of these in our green stock for our family, but then also for the seedling sale. Then there's tatsoi. This is a wonderful Asian green. Look, I think that picture is absolutely adorable. small spoon-shaped green that delivers a unique flavor experience. It's low growing and has a signature mellow, almost creamy flavor. So it's extremely cold tolerant too. So I will plant some of these for spring, and then I won't plant any of them during the summer because I know that it's gonna be too hot for them. So then I'll plant them again in late fall so we can have them over the winter. All right, another carrot. Not that I'm successful with carrots, but I couldn't resist. And yeah, I don't know, I'm a sucker for things that I can't grow yet. I'm gonna keep trying till I get it right. These are Pusa acida black, tropical black carrot. Bred in India, heat tolerant and extremely rich in antioxidants, perfect for hot summers, which is why I got it, because we have super hot summers here. And a lot of times carrots will bolt before they will even form a root because it gets too hot. So this is one I'm gonna actually try in my green stock for the summer. And then another squash, because I love them so. This one is early prolific straight neck squash. So this one, uniform lemon yellow club-shaped fruit, firm, high quality flesh, and very tasty. I will also direct seed. Usually I direct seed my squashes as well, unless I start having major issues with like rodents digging them up or something, then I'll start them as transplants. But squashes, cucurbits in general, like pumpkins, winter squash, summer squash, they really don't like to be transplanted. So if I can help it, I will direct sow these because they get angry and then they suffer from major transplant shock, and then you may lose your crop. Okay, this one is a melon. Melons also aren't a real fan of transplantation. Madhuras, this is a Rajasthan honey melon, historic melon from Rajasthan, India. The name means honey melon, appropriate for such a sweet fruit, thrives in hot, dry climates. So you're seeing a theme here, right? Hot and dry. As I'm sure you've heard, California has been suffering from every year is a new record for fire season and heat. And so, I have to start looking for things that can survive that because it kind of doesn't even matter how much water you give them. When you start getting into, 110, 115 degrees, not a whole lot can survive that. I have invested in some shade cloth that I will be using in the field to cover some things, just to keep some of the direct sun off when we have those really super intense hot days, and sometimes those last for a week or more. Maybe that'll help. We'll see. But it's all an experiment, and seeds are inexpensive, and so it's worth giving it a shot. This next squash is a long white zucchini of Palermo. I actually really like zucchini. This one is a minty green skin with white flesh and makes an attractive choice for markets. Prolific and reliable, it reaches 10 to 12 inches in length. Excellent for frying, spinning into zoodles, and more. I actually make zoodles a lot in the summertime when zucchini are around. So, yeah, so I'm gonna give these guys a try. And the last one, because I've always found this one so beautiful, and I'm still not giving up trying to grow really good pumpkins. This one is a Jarndale squash. It's slate blue gray, 6 to 10 pound pumpkin of superb quality, flat ribbed, very decorative, also keeps well. So beautiful. I just love pumpkins. I make pies out of them, I make soups out of them and stuff like that, but I just love them in general. I think they're beautiful. When the fall comes, I have them everywhere. So I think I'm gonna try some growing pumpkins and winter squash on the new property, because I have some space for them to just roam, which is really what I lack here. So when I grow them here in my home garden, I have to train them up trellises, which is a good way to save space. You have to make sure you support them as they grow. The fruits, make a little sling for them so that they don't break off of the vine as they grow. But it's definitely more labor intensive. So if I can set aside some space there and just pop some seeds in the ground and let them go, and they can just ramble all they want, maybe I'll get more fruits that way. So fingers crossed. At least I have the space to do it. So that's it for my seeds. The next thing I'm going to do is take you over to unbox the liners, the plant liners that I just received from Grow and Sell. So you can get, when you buy wholesale plants from growers, you can get them in different sizes. A plug is just a really small little, little seedling. A liner is bigger, right? So they're similar to plugs, but they're bigger, they're taller, they're more robust. Those can go, the seedlings can go right into the garden too if you want, the plugs, but the liners definitely can. Some of the ones that I have, I might consider not transplanting right away and potting to grow on. Those being the Baptisia, because I'm going to turn those into a hedge in my front, along my front walk, but they will also be used as cutting flowers for all of my bouquet work. So they'll serve a dual purpose. Yeah, so let's go over there and see what we've got. So here we are to do the unboxing, and you're gonna have a nice serenade of music from the guys working next door. So these boxes come packed. Let me show you here. There's a lot of styrofoam on top to kind of keep the plants in place, but these are liners. You see how deep the trough is here for the plants. So they're much bigger. Let's see if I can. Ooh boy, this is going to be hard to get all this stuff out of here. Okay, so I'll have to diligently pick all of this out, but I think this might be the Baptisia here. So this is the first tray. There are 32 plants in each of these trays. So I'll set this guy down. Get the next one. I'm gonna have this popcorn all over my yard. As you can see, it's a little breezy today. I believe this might be the yarrow. I got a variety called Marshmallow. You can see they're really dried out, some of these, so I don't know. So one of the things you should always do when you unpack them is to take photographs of how it is as soon as it arrived. And if you find that they don't rebound, then you can request refund because you lost X amount of plants just into shipping. So yeah, these don't look so good, but yarrow is also perennial, so it's possible that this is just kind of winter kill. I mean, I do see new growth coming off of some of these dead areas here. There's new growth down here, so I think they're going to be okay. But I'm going to give them a little bit more time in this container before I determine that. But I'll definitely take photographs. I was totally wrong. That was not yarrow. That was the delphinium. Delphinium is also perennial for me. So, well, it's a biennial, so it will grow, bloom one year, then set seed and come back the next year. So I don't know. I'm seeing fresh growth here, but we'll see. I may have to complain about that. And then this, actually, I was also wrong about this one. I didn't see that it had labels on it. This is not the Baptisia. This is digitalis, or foxglove. And the variety is Apricot Beauty, which I already have in the garden. I'll show you. So, doesn't look very exciting right now, but this is the cottage garden, and all of those green plants there are foxglove, different varieties. We've got Dusty Miller. We've got a lot of bulbs coming up. There's hyssop and AGASTACHE and Gaillardia. So we have a lot of foxglove here. We've got Lady's Mantle. And see, all of this was fall planted, so it went through heavy frosts. It was just starting to wake up. We have Gara. There's some Gara, but this actually is one of the apricot. Anyway, it's this is bloom stock that it sent up actually pretty late. I think it was December, so that won't go anywhere. I'll cut that bloom stalk off, but mostly I'm waiting for it to drop seeds, because if you see, actually it's kind of hard to see here. Let's find another spot for you to see. So all of these little seedlings down here are actually digitalis seedlings. They popped up after they were deposited by a plant that I let go to seed. So all of this bare planting area, I'll be putting new plants in. And then, oh, there's also plenty of salvias here too. And these are California poppies, different varieties. So like I said, it looks kind of crafty right now because it is still winter time. We've got echinacea in here, irises, hollyhocks, a giant thistleweed that needs to get pulled out, lots of salvias on this back wall, which I cut down in the fall, and they will come back. We have buddleia as well. So all of these are coming back. There's a little daffodil starting to bloom. I've planted bulbs all throughout here. We've got some different varieties of dusty. We've got snowdrops there. This is helichrysum and more California poppy. We've got some lantana back there, which looks dead, but is not. It will come back. And lamb's ear, etc. So this tray of apricot beauty digitalis, all of these are going to go in the garden, and we'll get it quite a show. Those are great for arrangements and also for bouquets. You could totally fit those in bouquets. The first initial stalks can be really, really tall. We've had some that were almost 6 feet tall last year, but then the secondary stalks are shorter and better, easier to use for bouquets. The delphinium is also all going to go in the cottage bed here, and we'll see how this tray does. I also have a bunch of delphiniums started from seed that is also already ready for transplant. Okay, let's see what's in here. Everything looks really beat up and awful. I think I expected them to look a whole lot better upon arrival, but we'll see. I'm assuming that they know what they're doing and these things will bounce back. All right, this is a tray of Baptisia australis, or false indigo. These are perennial, so I'm seeing brand new growth on some of these things here, that even though they look like they're dead and dying. I will definitely leave them in their liner trays for a while and stick them in the greenhouse and let them get some sun and start to perk up because they've been in a box. And then we'll see how it goes. Okay, so these are the ones that I'm going to put up in the front along our front walk as a hedge, and also they will be bouquet material. These guys, when they're at full height, are about 3 to 4 feet high and about 2 feet wide. So they'll make a really nice hedge, and they're just gorgeous flowers. Okay. That's it for that box. I'm glad there's lots of cardboard because I'm going to need it out at the new property for for setting up the new beds. Okay, this is lamium, I can tell already, and it looks way better than the other ones we're looking. So I got 2 varieties of lamium. They are going to go in the landscape, along the front walk, in the cottage garden, and also along our back wall behind the kitchen, which I'll show you. We did a lot of work this summer to kind of renovate that area, added because there was nothing but hard packed soil that was super thin, only like an inch deep, and then there was roots, tree roots underneath. So what we did was we brought in about 6 inches of compost, and we planted some things, and then we also covered it, and then we mulched it really heavily. So we're trying to build up the soil and improve the soil there. And lamium is great. It's a beautiful ground cover. I have 2 varieties. One of them is called White Nancy, which is what this one is. So it's got little pretty white flowers, but it's a really fast spreading ground cover. And it is perennial. It's a shade lover. You definitely don't want this guy out in the sun. And once it's established, it tolerates low water. So again, another great thing for living in California. Ooh, really dried out in some cells here. Yeah, gonna need water right away. So once I get all these done, I'm gonna put them out on the side over here and use the hose to deeply water them, and then I'll photograph everything. Okay, let's see if I can get my fingers under here. Yes, this is Achillea marshmallow. So really crazy, puffy, thick marshmallow looking blooms, which is very different from most yarrow. So not tall, it's short, like 12 inches. So again, these are gonna go in the cottage garden. They're not gonna be for cutting for bouquets, but they will be great in arrangement work. Okay, all right, one more box. And then boy, do I have a big mess to clean up. Okay, the final lamium. I forgot. I had that moment of like, what could this be? I need to figure out if I can, if these are recyclable peanuts. I hope they are, because I don't have any shipping needs that would require this many peanuts. Yeah, so this is the other lamium. It's called Orchid Frost. So just like the other one, White Nancy, only it has purple lavender flowers. And those look beautiful. Those look great. Okay. So before I wrap up this video, I will show you the place where I'm going to put all the lamium that I was just talking about. Okay, so to orient you, here's our green stalks. There is the greenhouse. Here's the house. And then this is like the sidewalk, basically. It's just the entrance into the backyard from outside. This hillside, as you can see, has 2 redwood trees on it, some live oak, California live oaks, and some California buckeyes. And this spindly guy right there, that is actually a maple, a beautiful Japanese maple. It's not leafed out right now, obviously, because it's February. So what you see on the hillside is rocks and leaves and mulch. There are other things in there that will come back when the weather warms up. I have planted some ornamental grasses here, and this is some lamium that overwintered beautifully. See, it's taken lots of heavy frost and it's just fine. This is lobelia here, falling, you know, kind of underneath the mulch. All of these are going to form a ground mat. So this is where I'm going to put all the new lamium seedlings, all the way down, basically as far out as I can reach, and they will form ground cover. I'll start working my way back up the slope. The reason I haven't done much up here is that we're having a massive water issue. When they put in this fence for us last year, they broke a pipe that we didn't know about until we tried to turn on the irrigation, and it's deep underneath the fence, but it creates a waterfall here. So we definitely can't have a waterfall. So we have to get them back out to fix that, even though it's been a year. I'm hoping I can convince them to come out and fix it since they were the ones that broke it. We have some eucharis in here. I love eucharis. I want to put a whole bunch more. So here's more of those ornamental grasses. I'm going to put a whole bunch more out here. This is nothing. It is seed that, it's grass seed that grew from the bird feeder. The squirrels and stuff go crazy. Yeah, that's why this area is kind of torn up, because they scratch in the dirt to get the bird seed and all that kind of stuff. But I have the bird feeder here because that's my kitchen window. It's so nice to be able to watch the birds and the squirrels while I am doing dishes. So these big giant boulders, my husband carried in and put in here. They were really heavy. They're here to hold the soil back, because there, like I said, there was hardly any soil on this slope at all. It had gotten so thin that we couldn't plant anything into it. This is a loropetalum bush, which was already here when we got here. Not my favorite, but I'm going to keep it small. We pulled a bunch of these out from our front walk to when we redid that whole area. So all those lamium will be going in here, and I will also be adding things like AGASTACHE and delphiniums even, because they can handle shade, and more euchera. So I plan to plant out a lot of this area this year. And we do have a bunch of astilbes planted in here. They always die back in the wintertime, so I'm hoping a bunch of them will come up. There's a whole variety of colors of astilbe in here, so hopefully they will all come up when we go back. Also, there are a bunch of hostas in here. Again, those die back in the wintertime. So this is actually a more densely planted area than it looks like, because almost everything is deciduous. So it dies back in the winter, but then come late spring really starts to pop. And then we have some honeysuckle, actually that's star jasmine, that's growing there. It continues, oh look, because of all the rain and the humidity, our fence swelled so much it won't close. That will change as things get drier in the summer, then it will close just fine. So another loropetalum bush, but this vine here, starting back there and going all the way up, this is star jasmine. So we're super excited because we thought it had died when they redid the fence, but it hasn't. And so we're training it back up to go across this pergola. So loropetalum, this is our front walk area that we've redone. In this, what looks like it's totally empty, there are actually bleeding hearts and some other stuff. We've got, again, down this front walk, hostas and astilbe, which you won't see right now because they are dormant underground, but lots of the daffodils are popping up. I planted 700 daffodils in here, maybe. I'm excited about that. We've got euphorbias and red twig dogwood and silver sheen pittosporum. A couple of California natives back there, which I right now cannot remember the name of course. Lots of hellebores, which I'm trying to add to because I just love them. And along this drip line here, I've put in different types of sedums and some ground cover. So all of this growth that you see is actually just from one season, because we put all of this stuff in at the beginning of last summer. We've got lavenders. Some of them have died, right? That guy I'm gonna have to pull out. So when I do spring cleaning, all of this will get cleaned up. We have some ornamental grasses, but I love, this is doing what I wanted it to do. You see how these ground covers are just spilling over the rocks? That was my desire. So this one is really lush and green when it's not cold outside. So I'll cut that back and it'll do it again. This is a cotoneaster, an azalea, and of course, Japanese maple, and a beautiful redwood. Well, that's it for today. That was a really rambling video. I hope that you got something out of that. I will keep you posted on how the liners do. I think the lamium's gonna be fine. I'm a little concerned about some of the other ones, but I'll give them a deep watering and put them in the greenhouse and see how they do. And then I'll let you guys know. I do have some transplanting to do today. Maybe that'll make it into a vlog or or another video. The vlog, the first week on the farm, the new farm, is coming. Tomorrow, which is Sunday for me, is a big day because it's gonna be me and my husband and our 2 teenage boys, and we're gonna go out there and do lots and lots of work. So I will be filming that. Then I'll wrap up that vlog and post that probably on Monday. It just depends on how quickly I can get it edited. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, weekend, whichever you're looking at right now, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.